A geographical indication registration expired on January 1st. Today is August 20th. Can the proprietor still save it? Yes. Geographical indication law provides 3 cascading windows to keep a registration alive after the expiration date, and even if missed, Section 19 provides a ghost rule. The removed geographical indication haunts the register for 1 additional year, actively blocking new applicants. Welcome to Patentworld-ai, Lecture G4 for the Trademarks Agent Exam 2027. Today, we are mapping the legal lifespan of a geographical indication: duration, renewal, restoration, and rectification. In the MCQ section of the exam, missing a single 6-month boundary determines whether a registration is salvaged or permanently lost. Mastering this architecture is required to solve the timeline problems examiners favor. Section 18 defines the GI term as 10 years, renewable indefinitely. An authorized user's term lasts 10 years or until the parent GI expires, whichever is earlier. For renewal, use Form GI-4 for the GI at 500 rupees and Form GI-3 for the user. Rule 60, Sub-Rule 1, contains a strict filing restriction. Renewal applications can only be made within the window starting 6 months before expiry. Watch for the examiner's trap here. Trademark renewal under the 2017 rules allows filing 1 year before expiry. GI renewal opens only 6 months before. Mixing these timelines up is a common error on the exam. Unlike the flexible trademark framework, GI survival depends on this 6-month window, and an authorized user's validity is always tied to the parent's clock. Window 1 is normal renewal, up to 6 months before expiry, on Form GI-4A. Window 2 is late renewal, within 6 months after expiry, on Form GI-4C with a surcharge. Window 3 is restoration, between 6 months and 1 year after expiry, on Form GI-4B. Rule 63 requires the registrar to consider the interests of anyone who applied for identical or similar marks while the original was removed. In our scenario, August 20th falls past the 6-month mark, but within the 1-year limit. This requires the Window 3 restoration procedure on Form GI-4B. According to Rule 62, whenever a GI is removed for non-renewal, the registrar is required to advertise that removal forthwith in the GI journal. The expiration date is not an immediate death sentence. It is the point where the proprietor moves into more expensive and procedurally complex recovery windows. Section 19 establishes the ghost rule. A removed GI remains on the register for 1 year to block new applications. The tribunal ignores this if there was no bona fide trade use in the 2 years before removal, or if no confusion is likely. Memorize these 2 parameters: the 1-year ghost period and the 2-year bona fide use lookback. This legal architecture directly mirrors the logic found in Section 26 of the Trademarks Act. The ghost rule acts as a public protection mechanism, ensuring that competitors cannot instantly use a recently abandoned GI and mislead consumers who still associate that name with the original producers. And now we move from the life cycle of a registration to surgical operations on the register itself. Section 27 provides the power to cancel, vary, or rectify an entry. An aggrieved person can apply for this to the registrar or the High Court. Grounds for rectification include contravening a condition, an entry made without sufficient cause, an entry wrongly remaining, or a defect in the record. The tribunal can also act suo motu, on its own motion, after giving notice. Under Rule 65, apply in triplicate on Form GI-6 with a 1,000 rupee fee, plus a statement of facts. Notably, a past exam question highlighted that removing an authorized user from Part B requires Form GI-5D. Interested third parties can also seek leave to intervene in these proceedings using Form GI-6B for 500 rupees. Section 27 is a weapon, the primary adversarial mechanism used to police the register when parties actively dispute the validity of an entry. Section 28 is the housekeeping section, initiated on the request of the proprietor or the authorized user. This covers correcting errors in a name or address, entering a change of name, canceling a GI entry, or striking out specific goods or classes from the registration. On the exam, distinguish them this way. Section 27 involves an adversarial attack by an aggrieved person. Section 28 involves friendly administrative corrections requested by the owner of the mark. Section 29 allows for the alteration of the registered geographical indication itself. A proprietor can seek leave to alter the mark, provided the change does not substantially affect its identity. Rule 71 requires Form GI-9, a 300 rupee fee, and 5 copies of the altered mark, served to users or published in newspapers. The law maintains a clear divide between contentious validity challenges and the routine administrative maintenance required to keep the register accurate. To conclude, we will consolidate the paperwork into a minute of pure memory. Categorize them by function. The GI4 series handles renewals and restoration. The GI5 series is for housekeeping, including name changes and removing authorized users. GI6 is for rectification and intervention. GI9 alters the mark, and GI10 cancels or strikes out goods. Reconfirm the 2025 fee updates. Standard renewal is now 500 rupees, and late renewal with a surcharge is 1,000 rupees. Memorizing this grid is essential. Mixing up Form GI4 for renewal with Form GI5 for correction will result in lost marks on the descriptive portion of the exam. Rapid-fire recap. Question 1. What is the initial GI registration term? 10 years. Question 2. What caps the Authorized Users registration? 10 years, or the parent GI's expiry, whichever is earlier. Question 3. When does the renewal window open? Not more than 6 months before expiry. Question 4. What is the window and form for late renewal with a surcharge? 6 months after expiry on Form GI4C. Question 5. When can you apply for restoration and on what form? After 6 months but within 1 year of expiry on Form GI4B. Question 6. How long is the ghost rule effective? 1 year after removal. Question 7. How long is the bona fide use look-back period for Section 19? 2 years immediately before removal. Question 8. Which section covers adversarial rectification? Section 27. That is Lecture G4. Next, in G5, we analyze the rights conferred by registration, the 3 modes of infringement, and the critical interface between geographical indications and trademarks. Mastering the life cycle of a GI provides the foundation for understanding how those rights are defended. Subscribe to Patentworld.ai, and we will see you in the next module.